everybody there, Real Dialogue and the Watchlist. We are so excited to be able to interview Joel Courtney. Joel Courtney is the lead actor who plays Greg Laurie in the upcoming film Jesus Revolution. This is great. I'm so excited to get to finally meet you. We've been seeing you on the big screen and also on the small screen. I'm so excited to introduce our Real Dialogue and Watchlist followers to Joel Courtney, who actually is in Jesus Revolution, which we absolutely loved. I don't want to oversell it at the beginning, but I definitely want to say we really appreciated it. But let's kind of step back and kind of introduce you to our audience a little bit, just so you're kind of they're familiar with you. I mean, you grew up as a military kid, you grew up in Idaho, but then eventually ended up in Hollywood. And your first gig was Super 8 with J.J. Abrams. I'm like, really? I mean, that is amazing. What a start. Briefly, how did that even happen?
So my brother started acting a few years before me, and he definitely broke the ice. My dad learned a lot of the tricks of the trade while working with him. And so randomly, when I went down one summer of 2009, I was visiting, and I was visiting my dad and my brother who were living down in Hollywood.
Right.
And my brother had an audition, and so I was just sitting in the waiting room, and the lady came out and said, "Are you auditioning next?" And I looked at my dad. I said, "Can I?" I was like, "Absolutely not. No, you have to have paperwork. You've got to get signed. Like, you have to have all sorts of information before you can even start auditioning." And he said, "If you want to really do it, we'll get you some classes. I'll get you paperwork, and then next year you can audition for whatever comes your way." So we went ahead and did that, and Super 8 was my first audition.
Amazing.
Uh, they had me come in for 13 callbacks over the course of three and a half months. I actually auditioned for so long that I had started my eighth year of school, eighth grade. And by the time they offered me the movie, in my head I was like, no, I you missed your window to film the movie. I have to go to school now.
Right.
I'm not available. And then I was told I would do school on set, and I said, "Oh, that's great. Then let's do it." So that's how that came about.
All right, fantastic. I mean, what a start to be able to start off with J.J. Abrams and Super 8, great film, by the way. And then you kind of worked extensively throughout Hollywood over the last few years, and probably most of our audience might know you from the Netflix franchise, The Kissing Booth, which has been on and has been quite popular here. But now I want to kind of fast forward and kind of go, how do you jump from the Kissing Booth franchise to all of a sudden meeting and working with John Irwin and Brent McCorkle on a film about Greg Laurie's story, The Jesus Revolution? This is really quite a series of connections we're looking at here.
Yeah, you know what? It was very much of a blessing. I found out about Jesus Revolution through the most standard orientation of an audition. I got an email, had the script and the audition scenes. I said, I really like the script, I'll go in and audition. At that audition was John Gunn, who is one of the co-writers, and then at the time he was actually going to direct as well. And
Okay.
Kevin Downs, our producer, was also in the room. And so I did the audition, and then I got to talk to those guys for about 5 to 10 minutes, and I walked away. I thought it went very well, and of course, in my head that means I'm not going to get it. Weirdly enough, it's not really, the audition doesn't slightly go well. That those are the ones that come back to you sometimes, in my experience.
Right.
Uh, so I thought it went really well. I was like, I don't know, we'll see. It would be fun, but I'm not gonna set all my hopes and dreams on it. And I got a phone call maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks later, and they said they really liked you, and they want to do a callback. I think we did a callback. Uh, yeah, I think we did a
That's okay.
callback, and they just said we feel like you're the guy, and it was great. It was phenomenal. But then we got delayed for 2 years, and we constantly kept getting pushed
Right.
back, pushed back. So we're just very thankful that the film actually was able to hold out through COVID, because I know there was a lot of other movies that were slated to film and then just disappeared and never saw the light of day again.
Right. Well, no, we're very thankful. We thought it was great. We really enjoyed you and your role, but also it must have been quite an opportunity for you to be able to kind of act alongside people like Kelsey Grammer and Jonathan Roumie. I'm kind of curious what you thought of that. How was that experience for you, and did you enjoy that?
I loved it. Working with Kelsey Grammer is just such a joy
Mm,
because he has a joy for the work that seems almost like childlike and just like playful and fun.
right.
And I think that's really saying something given how long he's been in the industry.
Mm,
Uh, he is so good that he could phone in, you know,
sure.
work and, not really give it his all and kind of just throw it some thought and then see what happens. He's good enough that he can do that. And it was so enjoyable to watch him completely put his heart and soul into this film and watch him love it with so much just enjoyment, and it was a true joy to get to work with him. And I had a lot of fun conversations with him from his time in theater doing Shakespeare. Just he's a wealth of knowledge and wisdom and insight from the same profession that I am also passionate about. So he gives me hope that hopefully after I've been in the industry so long, I will equally be as joyful and fulfilled by the work.
Yeah.
And Jonathan Roumie as well. I mean, what a talented guy. I mean, he's so funny too. I just like he never ceased to amaze me with how much fun he was having on set and the degree that he was giving himself over to the role. Like the way he would even like hold himself as soon as he got on set, he would just kind of like change his body structure a little bit and the way he carried himself and his voice would change. And he was really working with pitch and kind of vocal control for the role of Lonnie, and it's just such good people to work with. There's a saying that our director liked to use: "A rising tide rises all boats."
Right.
Right. And I was one of the boats that was just getting elevated, and I feel like we were doing that for each other on set. It was such a collaborative, great group of actors.
Yeah, it is. It's always great to be able to work with great talent like that. But then on top of it, I really felt that you did a great job of kind of really rising with them, and you did a great job with it. I mean, definitely wasn't one of those where it's an imbalance, and really helped to carry the film. Now, one of the things that I was curious about too, and actually we had a few questions from our listeners, was Greg on set, and how did that impact? Because I mean, obviously, I think looking at your filmography, that this is the first real life person that you've ever had to play. And so, if that's the case, what was that like? But then also, was he on set, and did he kind of maybe have something to say about how you were portraying him?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great question. We had I know that I got to talk to Greg before filming began. I got his phone number, and he kind of gave me a carte blanche situation with his phone number. If I had any questions, if I had was looking for any insight, I could call him or text him at any time, and he'd get back to me. And I know that Anna Grace actually got to talk to Kathy as well, similarly in
Great.
preparation for both of our roles. And then yes, Greg was also on set quite a lot. I recently said 50% of filming. I don't
Hmm.
know. I'm looking back on it. I'm wondering if it's a little less than 50% of the days, but he was around quite often. And um, it was so helpful. Just getting to sit down with him and talk to him and hear from his perspective about the end of the 60s and the beginning of the 70s and the transformation of his heart from when he got pulled out of military school and then sucked into the hippie movement and getting saved out of that, and his relationship with his mom, um, his relationship with Lonnie. It was he was such a fountain of information, and what better situation than the guy himself that I was supposed to be playing.
Right.
It was a little nerve-wracking, I will say,
I
in the
bet.
first 2 or 3 days. But having him around, he was so encouraging and he was so complimentary, and he was saying like everything's just like it's moving right, it's feeling right, it's good. This is good. You're in it. Along with the directors, they really enjoyed the performance, and it was getting playful and fun. And I think I was stopped being nervous around probably day two, definitely by
Right.
day three, and it was all just coming together so well. So I'm really excited to say that Greg really enjoyed the performance and was very much in like support.
Yeah, definitely. Also, this you weren't even born when this thing kind of happened, right? The whole Jesus Revolution. And so, I mean, what was it like stepping back in time? I'd be kind of curious what that was like. But then also a big question a whole bunch of listeners had was, did you actually draw any of that? Any of those drawings or not?
Yes, so definitely stepping back into the 60s and 70s is it's so fun. Our wardrobe, our hair and makeup teams, our set decoration, our prop masters, we had the coolest set.
Right.
And it really helps when everyone is so talented at their jobs, because when you're walking down the street and you've got the cars,
Right.
parked along the side, and you're wearing the bell bottoms and you've got the sideburns, and your hair is just in the right flowy, carefree way. It just brings alive the time period
Sure.
in a way that makes it easy, so much easier for me to slip into, a portrayal of the time period.
Right.
And so, I mean, it's funny, acting in a time that I wasn't alive. I don't know more about it than what I've heard and all the research that I've done.
Hmm.
But I mean, thankfully at this time period, there was a lot of photos, there was a lot of pictures, even from Pirates Cove,
Right.
of isms that were happening, at this time, of Greg and Kathy themselves on that beach with Chuck, and there's a plethora of information out there, and I really had a good time deep diving and researching all this stuff. But about the drawings, unfortunately, no. I
Okay.
did not draw
Didn't want
any
to
of them.
out you or make it all bad, but
No, it's
but
okay.
everybody was
I
like going, is he really doing that?
No, I can't even draw a stick figure, and that's just two legs, straight arms across, and then a circle
Sure.
head. It just always turns out terribly. No, we had Greg actually draw a lot of those, is my understanding. And he
Okay.
would do the templates, and then they would print out multiples, and then I would have pages in either my book or a notepad or whatever sheet I was drawing on. And I would just do a little bit of shading, and then I would
Hmm.
erase it for the next take, and then we would do it again, and I would just shade in
Oh,
the
that's
same area.
great. That's so fantastic.
But no,
Oh, it's so good.
I didn't do any of the drawing.
Okay, very good. Well, cool. Well, we're glad that you did. You're talented beyond just your drawing, so we really appreciated the performance. So it's really great.
I'm talented despite my drawing. Thank God.
There you go. That's a great way of putting it. Hey, a couple questions before we finish is one is you can see in your kind of your bio that you grew up you actually went to a Christian school growing up in Idaho, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's kind of curious about how filming this story and obviously having such a Christian theme and all that, how that impacted your life and maybe even your faith.
Absolutely. Well, I am a Christian. My whole family grew up Christian. So this is very much a important moment in my career where I get to, share a little bit about my faith um, through, Lionsgate and the
Yeah.
amazing creative Kingdom Story. And it's such a joy. It's such an honor. I definitely had an incredible experience. I think a profound connection to the character of Greg Laurie that, is achievable through a lot of hard work and deep dives on other characters. But the faith side of his character was something that I just immediately connected to when I originally read the script, and then on set as well. It's alive. It was alive in Greg at the time, and it's alive in me now. And that connection is very strong. And so I was very excited to get to do a faith-based film. And I'm so excited that it turned out so well. I think I'm a little biased, but I really do believe that Jesus Revolution is one of the best Christian films ever made.
Mm.
Uh, and I'm proud to be a part of it, and humbled and excited to see more of what Kingdom Story Company does, because their work is amazing, and I do feel like they're getting just better and better every movie they do.
That's right. Well, you know, and actually, you just answered my last question. Anyways, you pretty much
Oh
just gave us
no.
a great soundbite. Well, no, just why people should get out to see this film. We agree with you. It's actually just a phenomenal film. Not to knock on other Christian films, but this is really lifts the bar, and I think that you were really a part of that. We're really grateful for the time with you, and we definitely want to encourage our Australian audiences and New Zealand audiences to get out there and see this film when it comes out here. And we are grateful for the time with you today, Joel. And I'm going to stop at this point.
All right. Thank you so
Sounds
much.
good.
It's been an honor being on your show.
Well, just like Joel said, make sure you get out on the 20th of April and go see Jesus Revolution. It'll be across the country in Australia and New Zealand, and I think you definitely will be blessed by getting along to see Jesus Revolution. I want to say thank you to Joel and to Crossroads for this time to be able to spend with you, and also we encourage you to make sure that you continue to read Real Dialogue and listen to the new podcast, The Watchlist, and make sure you put your comments in under the reviews and tell us what you think of Jesus Revolution.